Chapter 3. Mind Your Own Business. Here's something that might shock you. Right now, as you're listening to this, millions of people are working incredibly hard, putting in long hours, climbing corporate ladders, and yet they're building wealth for everyone except themselves. ये सुनने में अजीब लगता है ना? But it's true. They are making their boss richer, they're paying hefty taxes to the government, and they're paying interest to banks on loans. But what are they building for themselves? Almost nothing. This is exactly what Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad taught him in Chapter 3 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's a lesson that can completely transform how you think about money and work. The chapter is called Mind Your Own Business. And trust me, by the end of this narration, you'll understand why this simple phrase holds the key to financial freedom. Let me paint a picture. Imagine two friends, both software engineers, both earning the same salary of, let's say, 8 lakh rupees a year. दोनों का same qualification है, same experience है. One friend, let's call him Raj, spends his entire salary on rent, food, gadgets, weekend trips, and maybe saves a little in a fixed deposit. The other friend, Arjun, does something different. He also spends on necessities, but he dedicates a portion of his income to building what Rich Dad calls assets. Now, what exactly are assets? Rich Dad's definition is beautifully simple. Assets are things that put money in your pocket. Or liabilities? Liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. It sounds obvious, right? But you'd be amazed how many people confuse the two. Here's where it gets interesting. Arjun, our second friend, starts small. He buys a used bicycle for 5,000 rupees, repairs it for another 1,000 and starts renting it out to college students for 50 rupees a day. Chota sa business hai, but it's putting money in his pocket. Within 2 months, that one bicycle has earned him enough to buy 2 more bicycles. Fast forward 6 months and he has a small fleet of 10 bicycles generating 15,000 rupees monthly. That's his asset working for him. Meanwhile, Raj bought a new motorcycle on EMI. Sure, it looks great and he enjoys riding it, but every month it's taking money out of his pocket through EMI payments, fuel, maintenance and insurance. According to Rich Dad's definition, that motorcycle is a liability, not an asset. But here's the crucial part that many people miss. Rich Dad never said, quit your job and become an entrepreneur overnight. His advice was much more practical. Keep your daytime job but start building your asset column. मतलब अपना regular income maintain करो, but side में assets build करते रहो. Let me share another example that perfectly illustrates this concept. There was a college student who wanted to earn some extra money. Instead of taking a part-time job at a cafe, she did something different. She bought 2 used bicycles for $50 each, spent $10 repairing them, and started renting them to tourists near a popular park for $5 per hour. On weekends, she was earning $40 to $60 just from these 2 bicycles. After 2 months, she bought 4 more bicycles. Her small asset was growing. Similarly, a software engineer created a simple $5 cheat sheet for interview preparation. It took him 1 weekend to create, but it started earning him $500 every month. That cheat sheet became his asset, working for him while he slept, while he was at his day job, even while he was on his vacation. This brings us to a fundamental distinction that Rich Dad emphasized: the difference between your profession and your business. Your profession is what you're trained to do, what you studied for, what pays your monthly salary. Arjun's profession is software engineering, but his business? His business is building assets that generate income independently. Most people confuse their profession with the business. They say, I'm in the software business or I'm in the teaching business. But actually, they're employees in those industries. Their real business should be building their asset column. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds great in theory, but I barely save anything from my salary. How can I build assets? Here's where Rich Dad's wisdom really shines. He observed a crucial difference in mindset between poor people and wealthy people. Poor Dad's approach was, work hard, earn money, then buy the things you want. So if you want a new phone worth $1,000, you save up from your salary and buy it. Rich Dad's approach was completely different. Build assets first, let them buy the luxuries. Let me explain this with a real example. A man wanted a new phone worth $1,000. Instead of saving from his salary, he started a small car wash service on weekends. After 4 weeks, his car wash service had earned him $1,200. He bought the phone with that money and still had his asset generating income for future wants. The beauty of this approach is that after buying the phone, he still had his car wash business. The phone didn't reduce his wealth. His asset actually increased his wealth and bought him the phone too. This is what Rich Dad meant when he said, wealthy people buy luxuries last, while poor people buy luxuries first. But here's something important to understand. Building assets doesn't always require huge capital or complex business plans. Sometimes it's about recognizing opportunities around you. Maybe you're good at graphic design and can create templates to sell online. Maybe you can tutor students in your area of expertise. Maybe you can buy and resell items online. The key is to start small and think in terms of cash flow. Rich Dad taught that true wealth isn't measured by how much you earn, but by how long you can survive without working. If your assets generate enough income to cover your expenses, you've achieved financial independence. Your job becomes optional, not necessary. This mindset shift is powerful. Instead of just being an employee who trades time for money, you become someone who builds systems that generate money independently. You're not just working in someone else's business, you're building your own business on the side. The chapter emphasizes that this journey requires patience and consistency. Your first asset might generate only a few hundred rupees monthly. But as you reinvest that income into more assets, the growth becomes exponential. Those few hundred rupees become a few thousand, then a few lakhs, and eventually enough to fund your desired lifestyle. Remember, every wealthy person started somewhere. They didn't become rich overnight. They consistently built their asset column one small step at a time. The college student with 2 bicycles, the engineer with his cheat sheet, the weekend car wash entrepreneur. They all started small but thought big. So, as you go about your day, working at your job, earning your salary, ask yourself, am I just making my boss richer, or am I also building something for myself? Your profession pays your bills, but your business builds your future. Mind your own business, build your assets, and let them work as hard for you as you work for others. That's the path to financial freedom, and it starts with understanding this simple but powerful distinction. The choice is yours. You can continue working hard for others, or you can start working smart for yourself too. Mind your own business. Your future self will thank you for it.